Welcome to Subramani. Uh, Last year, that was just I think just post COVID. We had gone to Himachal Pradesh, and I didn't give myself much time. But I said, let me jump off with a parachute, right? So, luckily or unluckily, these days you don't get to jump alone. You will have a guide with you, and frankly, he does all the work. You just have to hang in there. You have to make sure that you don't get scared and scream and things like that. Other than that, you really don't have to worry too much. And where is it? It's somewhere near Manali, and it doesn't take more than 7-8 minutes, and you know all this, right? So the advantage is, even if you're scared, you can just close your eyes and land in 7-8 minutes, knowing that life has been not so difficult. But the thing is, the challenge in all these things is not to give yourself too much time, right? So I knew that I'm going to do this jump only the morning of the jump, right? So when we were going there, he said, well, everybody could jump, Subra sir, you are the oldest in the group, do you want to jump? And I said, let me go first. He said, no, you will not go first, because it depends on your weight, the weight of the guy who is going to jump with you and all that. So the choice will be made by them and not by you. I said, that's fine. So I thought I could just walk up. It turns out to be a long distance, about 2 kilometers. So I said, no, okay. So we went up by train, and there we were standing, and like the whole thing of knowing at 8 o'clock that you're going to jump, and you're jumping at 9:30, gives you just 1.5 hours to worry about, saying, oh, what will happen, what happens if I fall, what happens if I crash. And then I realized that solo jumping was banned long ago, so you were anyway jumping with an instructor who was doing all the work. So it was like investing in an index fund. You really didn't have to do much, as long as you sign the check and give it away. Now similarly, even your retirement is going to be like that. All you need is a little bit of a push, somebody to run with you and somebody to jump with you and say, okay, here you are, and in 3-4 years you get used to it. So what are the things that you should be doing? So first of all, you should not worry too much, simply because you know that you are going to be with a guide. However, in retirement, you can choose either to be alone or with the help of some investment advisor. So you have to make that choice whether you. So largely, we were standing there, and I knew I had to jump. There was no great choice. You were already there with the instructor, and he said, just keep running and I will jump. So I was just, I think I was in the front. So I was in the front, so I had to keep running very fast to jump off the cliff. Like I said, this must have been about 5 kilometers, 4-5 kilometers high, so, or maybe less than that, sorry, 2.5 kilometers on the slope. So straight height must have been lesser. So there we were, ready to jump, and I actually recorded myself saying, jumping off is great fun. It's not scary. It's like investing in an index fund. I do not know, some of you may have seen that video. I had put up that video long back. Why I'm saying this is because even your retirement can be like that, right? So the question is, you will almost more or less be alone, except for your school classmates or college classmates, because more or less the same age. But then each guy would have taken a different path. Somebody who may have retired earlier, somebody may retire at 65 if they are abroad, right? So these things. So life will be together, but life will be separate, right? At some stage you will be alone and doing these things alone. So it's a little scary, but then you know there is somebody else to do the lot of the hard work, the heavy lifting perhaps, and then you have to just stay calm and make sure that things don't go wrong, right? Don't panic too much, don't shake around too much. I had a selfie stick in my hand and I was recording what was happening, so I must have been pretty calm. Then you know that you have to tuck and be ready to fall on the ground, and you know, because you're not coming at a very great pace, you can put your feet down, but you have to put your feet down in a particular way so that you don't break your leg. And there are people who go and break their leg or twist their ankle and things like that. These are simple things, but you don't want to twist an ankle and be on the bed for 6 months, right? You don't want to do things like that. So just be a little careful, and that's all. So, but the journey is a little lonely. And many people suddenly lose track of time. So suddenly when you're 54, 55, it is time to ask your company what is the retirement age for you. Is it 55, is it 58, is it 61, is it 62, right? Is it 58 and you will definitely be getting 6 renewals like some people get in some big companies. So then, which means your retirement age is 64, 65, right? So I met a 55, 56-year-old who just didn't have enough money to retire, but he was very confident that he'll get an extension, and he's got 6 extensions, or 7th extension is about to get. So even though technically he retired at the age of 58, he is now 65 and he's still going to office every day, same post, same salary, same car, driver. So for some people, retirement never comes. If you are a doctor and you are reasonably healthy, 70 is a simple age, you can go on till 70. So which means at 60 when your other friends are retiring, or at 58 when your other friends are retiring, you know you have another 10-12 years to go. But it is still a little scary journey. So what all should you do? You should see what is the amount of money that you require. So run some online calculators and see how it works, right? See whether, sit with your spouse. Here I'm assuming that I'm talking to the husband. So husband and wife sit together, run the calculators, see whether you're really able to live on that kind of amount, or what are the things for which somebody else is paying now. Many people do not realize that the telephone bill, the petrol bill is all being now paid by the company. Maybe even the electricity bill is being paid by the company. And suddenly when all that has to be paid by you, you have to estimate your household expenses much better, right? So many people are unable to even find out how much they are actually spending on their household expenses. So find out how much you're spending on your household expenses, on electricity, on the servants, on drivers. So see, a driver could be a company reimbursed driver, so you may be paying 25,000-30,000 rupees or 35,000 rupees for a driver. But when you keep your own driver, you may not want to keep such an expensive driver, or you may say, okay, on days when I have to really go far away, maybe 150 kilometers, I'll hire a Ola or a Uber. I don't need a full-time driver. I will use a driver maybe to go get around nearby places, but when it is far away, I'll hire a driver. Even that is possible. So finding out all those things should start 5 years prior to your retirement. And like I said, it's going to be a lonely journey. You have to get that guts to jump. Either you jump with a group of friends like what I did, or you go alone and jump, or you go through 2-3 months of training and then you jump alone. I didn't have that kind of luxury, so I anyway jumped with an instructor who's a very good and experienced, and I knew that he would be handling the situation. All had to do, like they say, just hang in there, right? So that is what I was doing. So find out your role, find out, and what do you really need to do that, right? You need one slight push. I remember a very big aviation expert, a big parachuter, he said, what helped you get into this? And he said, a kick in the butt by my instructor when on my first jump, right? So first jump, you need that help. I remember first time I jumped into the swimming pool, it was a slight push from my coach, and there I was into the water. It was not say very difficult, but I doubt whether I can still do it now. Right, so some of these things you need a lot of help, some of these things become a habit, and then you are able to do it regularly. So retirement is a little scary. You may be worried about being lonely, you may be worried about running out of money, you may be worry about being unwell and having to look after, you may worry about what happens when I am single, right? You will have all those worries, but you have to still make the first step. All those worries could start maybe when you're 80, or maybe you die at 79 and you don't have to even worry about it, right? So get yourself in good shape, get your money in good shape, sit with your spouse, look at the calculators, see how to really live. So 5 years prior to your retirement, start doing this trial runs, see what happens if you don't go to office, take 1 week off and just sit at home. See how it works, right? So all these things, nothing prepares you for the real retirement, but doing these simple small steps and realizing that even though you have friends, classmates, colleagues, siblings, everybody helping you, remember ultimately the jump has to be made by you. All the talking to people who have already made the jump, or looking behind you and looking at the long queue, or looking at the 3 people ahead of you who are going to jump from the plane, all that is very useful. But when it comes to yourself, you have to make the jump. And luckily, like I said, They do not have solo jumps anymore. It is instructor led jumps. So their instructor is there behind you, and he is controlling all the strings. You have to just hang in there, like they say, in an index fund. All you have to do is every month put money in an index fund, and your money will keep growing. Don't use your brains too much. Similarly, in your retirement, see what are the requirements, see what you will do, see where you will need help, talk to friends, etc. But remember, ultimately it's a job which you have to do on your own. But group helps. So seek group help, seek the help of an advisor, do it on your own, whatever, but be prepared for it and start preparing for it at least 5 years in advance. Thank you. I have always been saying this, that when you retire, or when you are even generally in life, what you remember are experiences, not the things that you buy. So of course you need things. Of course, when you buy a new camera or a laptop or a car, you feel very happy that you bought it. You need it for the utility. But beyond that, after 1 month or 2 months, or maybe even a few days or a few hours, the charm is lost, right? You bought a camera, you bought a lens, and you were very excited, but then you didn't sit down to learn how to use it, etc. You bought a watch, you bought a car. Any of those things have the same thing, but what you really remember are the experiences. So if you decide, let's say we are in the month of March, and you decide to go for a vacation in the month of August or July, and you start planning for it right from March. You're finding out, you say 2 of you are going or 3 of you are going, then you ask your classmates, your siblings, your colleagues, friends, and they and suddenly it becomes a group of 6-7 people. You make a WhatsApp group, you then get excited by the whole thing, then you go negotiate the hotels, you book the the air tickets, and then, right, so the whole experience from March to July or August, whenever you're actually going, it's a great experience. It's fun. You're talking about it. You're talking about what clothes to take, what food to eat, what to do, right? That kind of fun that you get when spending, maybe you're spending only 40,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees on the trip. It's not something very high that you're talking about, but the pleasure that it gives you, and the fact that you're going to spend so much time talking about it, preparing, then the actual trip, and then coming back and saying what a great trip it was, how much of sweets we ate, how much of running we did, how much of jumping we did, how many animals we saw, anything, right, depending on where you are going. Or maybe seeing nothing but still having the fun of saying, oh, 8 of us drove around in Kaziranga and did not see anything except rhinos and elephants, and we saw very many elephants. We didn't see too many other animals. Yeah, we saw some tortoise, we saw some deer, but suddenly on the last day we had the luck of watching a tiger walk past us and walked with us for about 1 kilometer, and we had the pleasure of shooting pictures. Any of these things, right? This kind of experience which you get, and which you will remember for the rest of your life. Make no mistake about that. So invest in experiences. Maybe it's a small vacation you took with your parents or with your children, right? Your daughter is going abroad, and